Our next presentation is by Dr. Deb Hunter, a life science instructor at Turtle Mountain Community College, and the title of her presentation is Leech Diversity in Waters Located on the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Reservation.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Hunter. My presentation is going to consist of a presentation by two different students, and then I will do a follow-up on their research and on how being connected to cyber infrastructure would really increase our ability to do some of the research that we're doing here at Turtle Mountain Community College. So the first student that will be given a short presentation is Jenny Hull. Jenny?
Thank you. So, good morning. My name is Jenny Hull. I'm a freshman at Turtle Mountain Community College in Belcourt, North Dakota. Today, I will share information about leech research at Turtle Mountain Community College. I will inform you of the procedures we use to find abnormalities in the leeches we are studying. During the spring and summer, students participating in the Teacup or EPSCoR programs collected leeches from lakes, ponds, sloughs, and streams on tribal land in the Turtle Mountains. We obtained leeches in the shallow water with nets. We also checked miscellaneous items floating in the water, pulled up cattails, and checked under rocks. We placed traps containing beef kidney in the deeper water in the evening, left them overnight, and collected them the following morning. All of the leeches from one site were then placed into buckets. After we found the leeches, we took them back to the college where we sorted them and put them into location-specific containers. To identify the leeches, we narcotized them in a sodium bicarbonate solution. We identify the leeches by looking at their eyes, their gonopores, and their ceca when visible. We also measured the length of every leech. The number and placement of the eyes are one way of identifying leech families. My specific project is identifying the leeches with abnormal eyes. I place the leech under a microscope and count the eyes. I then record the data and draw a picture next to it for reference before photographing the leech using the Leica M165FC microscope. Currently, I am working with the Urpidella obscura and Urpidella punctata leeches. These two leeches are very, very similar in size. The Urpidella obscura has 4 sets of eyes, whereas the Urpidella punctata has only 3 sets of eyes. Today, I will focus on the Urpidella obscura. What I observed is that many of the Urpidella obscura leeches had abnormal eye arrangements. Here is an Urpidella obscura with 4 pairs of eyes. However, it also has an additional eye. And here is a second example of an Urpidella obscura with an additional eye. The Urpidella obscura shown here is missing an eye. And here is a second example of an Urpidella obscura that is missing an eye. We are continuing to gather data and will study contributing factors to leech abnormalities. I am interested in determining if the abnormal leech eyes are related to the environment. My hypothesis is that the abnormalities are influenced by the environment, physical and chemical properties of the water. I would like to thank Dr. Govedich, Dr. Bain, Dr. Hunter, and Dr. Hansen for aiding me in my research. I would also like to thank the University of North Dakota for their generosity in lending us the microscope.
Okay, so in the summer of 2009 and 2010, we surveyed leeches in wetlands on the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Reservation and also in the surrounding tribal lands. With the aid of Dr. Frederick Govedich and Dr. Bonnie Blaine from Southern Utah University, and hopefully they are connected with us today, we have identified 12 different species in the Turtle Mountain area, including a leech called Glossophinia complanata. We are continuing to identify the leeches that we collected in the summer of 2010, and this fall, due to the generosity of Dr. Tristan Darland and the University of North Dakota, we have had access to a LICO microscope camera with much higher magnification than the microscopes that were available to us when Dr. Govedich and Dr. Bain visited us in the summer of 2010. As a result, we see a lot more details in the leeches during the identification process. And what we have found is we have found some leeches that are very similar to Glossophinia complanata, but we're not 100% sure that these leeches are Glossophinia complanata. They may be a subspecies of Glossophinia complanata, or they may be a completely different species. So in my presentation, I want to show you and illustrate how the value of having a cyber infrastructure access would greatly speed up the process of leech identification here at Turtle Mountain Community College. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two leeches, one that we have previously identified as Glossophinia complanata, and one that I would like to call Glossophinia complanata, but I'm not 100% sure that it is Glossophinia complanata. So I'm going to go through the taxonomic identification process. To identify the leeches, we use taxonomic keys to the North American Hirvandinidae and Acanthobedelidae, located in Chapter 12 of a book called The Ecology and Classification of North American Freshwater Invertebrates, 3rd edition, 2010. It's the most recent classification of leeches that we were able to locate, and Dr. Govedich and Dr. Bonnie Bain are two other co-authors in the development of this taxonomic key. So this is a photo of a leech that we have identified as Glossophinia complanata. It was collected from Fish Lake here on Turtle Mountain Reservation, and it's approximately 1 centimeter in length. This is the photo of the second leech that we would also like to call Glossophinia complanata, also collected from Fish Lake at the same time as the previous leech was collected. This leech is approximately 0.5 centimeter in length, and its body has a much more oval shape than the one that we have previously identified as a Glossophinia complanata. Whether this is due to the age of the leech, that it may be a younger leech, or whether it is a subspecies or a different species, is a question that we would ask Dr. Govedich and Dr. Bain if they are they connected?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you too. Hi.
Oh, hello.
It's been a while. Yeah. So would the change in the body shape be related to age?
Well, the leeches can change shape depending on a number of different things. Are they agitated? Are they they contract for a number of different things, and they can change from kind of a more linear shape to an oval shape. So it could be age. It could just be the environment that they're in, whether they've been disturbed or not. These, I assume, were preserved. So were they how were they relaxed? So shape is a little bit shaky, but you can still kind of use that as a general characteristic.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to go through the process of classifying the Glossophinia complanata. They belong to the phylum Annelida, class Hirvandinidae. And then using the taxonomic key, the first question that asks is there a presence of a farnesyl proboscis? The proboscis is a tongue-like structure that the leech will extend during the feeding process, and it penetrates into the material that it's feeding on, and is basically a large sucker that pulls the food into the leech. So on the slide, this is the ventral view of the complanata, and the little black line shows where you have a retracted proboscis, indicating that this particular leech does belong to the order Rhinocobedella. Okay. The second characteristic is that the body is flattened dorsal ventral. It's a very flat leech, and that the body is much wider than the head. The head in this photo is on the right side of the photograph. Again, very much smaller than the body of the leech. As we continue in the identification, does a leech have 2, 3, or 4 pair of eyes? Our leech has 3 pair of eyes, and this places it into the family Glossoponidae. Okay. Then, does the leech have a posterior sucker without a circular glands? The photo on the left shows the posterior sucker, a ventral view. It does not have a circular glands. It has a firm body, and as we've already identified, it has 3 pair of eyes. And these eyes are located in 2 paramedial rows. And paramedial means that the eyes are on each side of the midline of the leech.